Good morning and welcome to Missoula Real Estate Today. This is Denny Bedard. Missoula Real Estate Today is presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Diane's been working with buyers and sellers in the Missoula market for over 25 years and shares her insights on the local housing market. Along with her trusted partners, Diane provides complete service for your real estate transaction and brings us guests who provide useful information on industry-related topics and trends. And now, Missoula Real Estate Today on News Talk, KGVO. Always great to have you with us on Missoula Real Estate Today. Thank you so much. Good buddy who's a fairly regular guest on this program, Brandon Smith with Glidewell, has joined us this week on Missoula Real Estate Today. Welcome back.
Thank you, Denny. Good morning.
I think it's been a little while since we've seen each other.
Been a few months, I think pre-COVID, if I recall.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
We've been in quarantine for the last year, and here we are.
Yes, and I normally introduce you as Brandon Smith with Glidewell Investment and Insurance, but you're going by Glidewell.
That's correct.
Tell me about that.
We've rebranded this year, 2021. Really, we found that, for a lot of reasons, Glidewell Investments and Insurance Group is a mouthful. That's a lot of space in marketing, a lot of letters and embroidery, and it was a bit challenging. And so we took a step back and really looked at our business model and who we are and what we do, and found that we do so much more than investments and insurance, and that we didn't want to be communicating the wrong message. And so we simplified our name to just Glidewell, and a bit of a metaphor there of just gliding well, smooth sailing.
Yeah.
When it comes to personal finances, we want to help end financial crisis in families. And so we do a lot more than just investments and insurance. We're doing financial coaching and counseling and helping people figure out how to create a budget that works and eliminate debt and prepare for the future and create the disciplines that most of America lacks when it comes to spending habits. And so 2021, we became Glidewell.
All right. You keep track of how many times I make the mistake and call you the former full name.
That's
okay?
all right.
That's okay.
We still do it internally.
How about a little revisit, though, the background and history of Glidewell? There's a lot of that in Missoula.
There is. We started officially in 1980. Dave Glidewell, who was just Dave Glidewell Insurance, was big in the life insurance industry and saw an opportunity to help people with their home and auto insurance. He got appointed with some carriers, and overnight became Dave Glidewell Agency. And as time evolved and the business grew, became Glidewell Insurance, and then Glidewell Insurance Agency, then Glidewell Investments and Insurance Group, and now Glidewell. And so we have 25 employees on our team, and we help with obviously investments and insurance, but we broke that down. It's property casualty, home, auto, business, umbrella, liability, as well as life, health, long-term care, Medicare, and then retirement planning.
Well, as we continue to move forward, trying to get past the pandemic, get that behind us, have you noticed any changes yet in what clients are asking about moving forward?
Yeah, Denny, COVID has been so good for us in business. It seems a lot of the small mid-market, small business owners that I talk to all talk about how 2020 was a great year for them. And I think a lot of that is it forced our hand to step back and reevaluate our systems, our strategies, best practices. A lot of our team went remote during that season, and we found that more work was being accomplished in less time. And is that because water cooler conversations aren't happening? Perhaps. But we found there's less distractions. And so now we're really intentional on the social aspect, because a lot of our team has stayed remote because it helped their life, their profitability, our profitability. And so clients, the same thing. People, I think, are more conscientious, paying attention to the bottom line in their budget. I think we as a society learned a lot through COVID that didn't involve a virus. It was more about fiscal responsibility and spending less than we make, saving, investing for the future, being prepared for an emergency. What if my business does shut down for 3 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months? Mm-hmm. How am I going to live? And it became real. Mm-hmm. And so the opportunity to have those conversations with clients has obviously increased because people are in need during a phenomenon that we're facing.
Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Our guest, Brandon Smith with Glidewell. Brandon, are clients coming to you for more investment advice? You talked about you're seeing a lot more planning ahead in the event of some major disaster going on. But coming to you for more investment advice, and then the conversation turns to insurance, or do I kind of got that the other way around?
Actually, I think it's probably pretty split right down the middle, where we got people coming through our door because of the insurance need that leads to conversations about wealth management and investing, and vice versa.
Right.
And that's one of the things we're trying to shift with the rebranding. We really don't want to lead with insurance or retirement. We want to lead with ending financial crisis in families. And sometimes that conversation turns to reevaluating insurance, looking to lower premiums, freeing up dollars to reallocate those to getting out of debt or a retirement plan so that people can achieve their dreams. So I would guess we have pretty much 50-50 split right now.
Split.
Yeah.
How well educated is the average client looking to invest? Do they have somewhat of a game plan and looking to you to advise them, or are they wanting guidance from you to establish the things from square one?
Yeah, I love that question, and it's a frequent question that you've asked me, and I think my answer has evolved. If we went back and listened, I think it's changed. I think there was a season where the average investor was uneducated. It was, this stuff's not taught in school, and so you don't know, and you hear these terms like mutual fund, Roth IRA, investment, bonds, stocks. I don't really even know what that means. And so having the opportunity to help people over the last several years of just being educated on the basics, making investing simple has been, a play to our advantage. At the same time, I think in the last year with what we've seen with the stock market and some of these GameStop, AMC, these things that have been in the news, and the cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, people have invested more of their time, no pun intended with invested. People are spending more of their time learning, educating, reading, following. And so it feels and appears that we have a lot of experts out there right now on when it comes to investing. And I don't know enough about the digital currency, the cryptocurrency, because we just hold to the principle of slow and steady wins the race. We know that small investments with compound interest over time create phenomenal results. And so we really stay out of that, and we just we want to eliminate as much risk as possible and guarantee as much as we can that our clients are going to get to the goal they desire, rather than increasing our risk drastically on something we don't know a whole lot about.
Well, I would think too, Brandon, the examples that you gave, I don't want to say, I don't put them in a get rich quick category, but when you have that kind of frenzy, I would think a person in your position at Glidewell, you got to be looking for red flags and just say, whoa, hold up here. Let's take a look and evaluate this. But as far as an investor, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
And no doubt about it, some people have got rich quick.
Sure.
There's
a lot of people probably didn't.
Right. Yeah. And, I know some people that made some money, but the risk is so great that I think it would be foolish for anyone to put their whole nest egg into some sort of cryptocurrency where it's so volatile that, in an instant you could lose everything. And so, again, slow and steady wins the race. Retirement, long-term saving, investing, it's a marathon, not a sprint, like you said.
Well, let's shift gears a little bit to insurance. That, of course, is a want-to-need thing. You might not want it, but got to have it. It is needed. What areas do you feel most people are insurance deficient these days?
Insurance, everybody's favorite topic. I got two answers for you, Danny. First one, I would say the liability portion. I think people on their home insurance often don't have enough liability coverage. Because what I see happens is people, especially in a housing market like we have today, houses are listed for such a short period of time. Mm-hmm. People make an offer, gets accepted, they got to close, they want to push it through, and one of the requirements from underwriting is get insurance. So, hey, I need insurance, I'm buying this house, and they don't take the time to sit down and properly review the insurance. They just want, is it cheap? Does it fit in our escrow budget? Yep. And they go to closing and they get the keys to their house and never go back and revisit. And you buy a $500,000 home and you only have $100,000 or $300,000 in liability coverage because you were concerned about rate, and then somebody trips and falls on your property and there's a lawsuit and you have an asset that's worth more than the liability you have, and now you're in a tough place because you didn't just take 2 minutes to have that conversation and make sure that you have the proper liability to protect everything you've worked so hard to achieve. But number two, I would say, and that would probably always be my standard answer for people, is liability. But right now here in Western Montana and really most of the United States, the coverage on the structure, your dwelling, reconstruction costs, we're at an all-time high in the market, in inflation. A lot of homes are underinsured because just construction costs of materials, lumber. So really going back and reevaluating, hey, is my home insured to value? I don't ever want to see somebody pay for more insurance than they need. Like I don't want to oversell on insurance. I want to help people free up dollars to get out of debt so they can invest, so that they can live the American dream and not be strapped living paycheck to paycheck. However, your home is your most valuable asset. It's the largest asset most people have. And if you don't have it properly insured, and it's gone up in 20, 30% in value in the last 12 to 18 months, you probably want to make sure you have adequate coverage on that structure in the event of a fire.
Yeah, I'm sure that catches people off guard. They don't realize in a market that the way it is right now, what replacement costs could be in the event that were to happen.
Right.
Just a staggering that way. And the other thing, I know you've talked about this before when you've been on the show, that additional premium rates for more insurance. I'm sure the perception is it's a lot more money, a heck of a lot more money,
right.
and it just isn't.
No, it's very minimal, relatively speaking. I mean,
right.
Because the way insurance is rated is the rate is equal to the risk. So the higher the risk, the greater the rate. So you have less than a 1% chance of your home burning down.
Mm-hmm.
So the rate, the increase in going, $25,000, $30,000, $50,000 in coverage increasing is going to be so minimal.
Yeah.
So we're just in a weird time, a weird season of life where, cost of construction is exceeding inflation. And so we just need to make sure that our insurance portfolio is properly balanced and that we're not overspending yet properly insured.
Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate here on News Talk KGVO. Our guest, Brandon Smith with Glidewell. Brandon, besides perhaps being, underinsured, some other common mistakes people might make when they're purchasing policies that you like to try to help them avoid.
Insurance has become so commodity driven. There's so much advertisement out there, billions and billions of dollars, and it's great advertisement. It's funny, from the geckos to cavemen to Flow to Liberty, the dock in New York to Farmers University, all phenomenal marketing, really, really funny commercials that get your attention and they're memorable. But the truth is, when you need insurance the most, it's not funny anymore. Yeah. It's not a joke. It's really serious. And so I think oftentimes the marketing of insurance does a disservice to the consumer, because you see these ads for coverage for equipment breakdown or almost like an extended warranty, and you're being nickeled and dimed to death by the insurance company. And the purpose of insurance is to insure you for what would financially devastate you, not inconvenience you. And I see so many people trying to insure for the inconvenience. And if you're handling your finances right and you've got a savings account and an emergency fund, I recently heard, Denny, a statistic, something on the lines of less than 40% of Americans, if faced with $1,000 emergency, could pay cash for that today. We're in a tough place financially. We have a negative savings rate in America today. And so if we can help people to get a little bit of money in the bank, a savings account where they can self-insure, either increase deductibles or when your TV's stolen, that's an inconvenience. That's not going to bankrupt you. Just, go to Best Buy, go to Costco, buy a new TV. But I see so many people insuring for the inconvenience, like it's an extended warranty of life, that it helps protect the mishaps and it replaces personal responsibility. And so when you go in and look at your insurance and insure for what would devastate you, what would bankrupt you, and forget everything else. You handle that internally. You self-insure. You be your own insurance company. You're going to lower your rates. You're going to be more satisfied with your policy because you're going to understand exactly what it covers and what it doesn't. And I think that's one of the flaws right now, is marketing is so good that people are going in and making phone calls because they want to insure their dog. There's pet coverage on car insurance.
Yeah, I'm seeing more of that.
But that's a moneymaker for the insurance company, because the probability of you getting into a car accident and it severely injuring your pet is so extremely minimal that carriers are making bank on you.
Yeah. Now,
and don't get me wrong, we love our pets. I mean, we spend I saw last year we spent $6 billion on costumes for pets at Halloween. Like, we're spending money on our pets. So I get that people have that emotional tie, but you have to buy your insurance based on logic, not on emotion.
Don't buy the diamond-studded tiara for the dog. We're on a budget here. Now, let me ask you this, because you're an independent agent, and so you do work with all of these well-known national agencies. And I got to be careful here, because my salary, I am compensated by businesses that advertise on the radio. But you look at national advertising. Geico saves you 15%. And Progressive will save you $500 a year, and Farmers will save you $500 a year. And every single one of them will save you $500 to $600. Every one of them, Brandon.
Right.
So are you rolling your eyes and thinking, I'm thinking, okay, because every one of them saves you that, who is charging an arm and a leg that they're saving that money with? I mean, it's crazy.
Insurance should be free at this point.
Yeah. It's competitive, and I get it, but how do you sort through that? I guess
it's brilliant marketing. It's funny. You probably call my wife and I insurance nerds. We're watching the NBA Finals the other night, or the Western Conference Finals, and a commercial comes on for Progressive, and I said just that. I said, it's so frustrating when you're in the industry that the carriers are doing this to us. They're agents. Like, they're trying to drive traffic to us, which we appreciate, but at the same time, they're setting the bar and the expectations so high. Like, we have some magic button to save people money. What's interesting is, if you watch in those commercials, there's fine print on the bottom of the screen, but it's so fine, you can't see it, you can't read it.
And nobody would bother to put it on pause.
So I actually
and
once did a little bit of looking, and I pulled up the ad on YouTube and paused it and zoomed in as much as I could to really see what the fine print is saying. And what these companies are doing is they're taking an exclusive pool of people, and they find 10 of their clients who they did save an average of $700, and they do this commercial, and they have this little asterisk on there, and they save 10 households out of millions of clients $500 in this. And so it's all marketing. It's all a ploy to make the phone ring and create a conversation and sales game. But honestly, Dan, that's where we differentiate ourselves. We don't work with just one carrier, like, a Geico.
Right.
Like you said.
Right.
We have a handful of carriers we work with where we can shop, we can do the legwork for people, and hopefully find them the best coverage at the best rate possible that fits their budget. But the marketing doesn't matter, because we at Glidewell, we're about relationship. We want to build a relationship with people, know their situation, and not just be, custom fields on a landing page that you fill out, type in and hit submit and get a rate. Like, we want to work with you, get to know your understanding, your risk tolerance, and really present back to you the best option for your household. Because our goal is to end financial crisis in families, and the way we're going to do that is one household at a time.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up right there, because that'll lead me to my next question when I get to that in just a moment here. With Brandon Smith with Glidewell on Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Also, I want to say thank you to some of Diane's marketing partners that help bring you the show every weekend on News Talk KGVO. Miles Link with Opportunity Bank of Montana, Rob Fleming from Man Mortgage, and Carol Blodgett, makeitmissoula.com. And the Becktacular listing of the week from Diane Beck is in Houston, 17605 Calamity Lane, Houston. We are talking about amazing views, privacy, and seclusion in a Montana dream home. Owner, builder, built for his family. All the bells and whistles, everything on one level. Open concept, split plan with the primary on one side with private access to a deck. Other 3 bedrooms on the other side. Include vaulted ceilings throughout, surround sound in the living area, primary bed, bath, and back deck. Big cook's kitchen, awesome island, lots of room for entertaining and views from every single room. It's something. 17605 Calamity Lane in Houston. And if you'd like a more complete rundown of Diane's listings, give her a call or visit her website. That's move2missoula.com. Move, the number 2, Missoula.com. And back to Brandon Smith with Glidewell. We started talking about this. Some of the advantages, Brandon, you can offer being 100% independently owned.
Yeah. People often come to us and the biggest pain point is rate. They're looking to save money on their insurance. And so when we have that conversation, get to know them and really understand what's important to them, we find that when people buy a vehicle and they call us and say, hey, I just bought a new Ford F-150. When we ask them, what was it about the Ford F-150? Why'd you go with that make, that model? What was it? It's amazing what they tell you.
Yeah.
Safety, features, benefits, color, the options it has. Nobody ever says to us, it was the cheapest F-150 on the lot. Yet when they come to us for insurance, oftentimes they want the cheapest one on the lot.
Naturally.
Yeah. So when we start talking about, hey, your values, your principles, what matters to you, and look at features, benefits of your policy, it allows us to create really an a la carte custom portfolio. Whereas when you go to the 800 numbers and the .com companies, you are getting a custom standard. Here's your coverage A, B, and C, and it's the same as every one of their clients. So working with an independent agent really provides you options, both positive and I guess you would say negative in terms of rate. Like we can increase coverage to make sure your home's properly insured rather than just give you a standard rate. We can go to other carriers and look for more competitive markets and weigh the pros and cons. There's some carriers in Montana, people love their firearms. There's a lot of Second Amendment folks here in Western Montana. So there's insurance carriers that a lot of people work with, large carrier names that people recognize that have a limit on theft of firearms, an internal limit. And rarely is that ever discussed in an upfront conversation, getting to know somebody. What are your passions? And we find more and more that people here in Western Montana have a couple firearms. They have the arsenal in the basement. They got the gun cabinet for hunting season. And so there's carriers that have unlimited coverage up to the personal property limit for theft of firearms. So if your gun collection, your hunting rifle is important to you, you probably want to talk about that with your insurance carrier and make sure you have enough coverage in the event of theft. So I would say the simple answer to your question is options.
Yeah.
Being independent creates options and solutions for each individual.
Yeah. No, good answer. Good examples. Missoula Real Estate Today presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate on News Talk KGVO. We are with Brandon Smith of Glidewell, and you are an endorsed local provider. I think I got that right. What does that mean, and what are the benefits?
That is, we are affiliated with Dave Ramsey, who airs here on KGVO. Correct if I'm wrong, but I believe Monday through Friday, 7 to 10 p.m.
Correct, yes.
Dave is a just financial guru. He speaks to the masses, very black and white. Here's how you eliminate risk in your finances. Here's how you get out of debt. Here's how you build wealth. And very, very simple baby steps that Dave lays out. Well, if you go to daveramsey.com and you're looking for help with your insurance and you plug in your zip code, if it's one of the territories we cover and represent, Dave directs you to us. So we do a lot of work with Dave Ramsey's fans, Dave Ramsey's listeners. A lot. You've heard me say it over and over. We want to end financial crisis in families. So our philosophy and our business model parallels that of Dave Ramsey. So it's an endorsement from Dave. It drives a lot of traffic to us, a lot of conversations with people that are like-minded. They're on a warpath to get out of debt, to save, to invest. And so we look at, hey, can we find savings in their insurance portfolio so that we can reallocate those dollars to their debt snowball, just making ends meet in their budget, or begin the steps of investing and preparing for their future.
Now, I personally have yet to be swept up in the podcast craze, with the exception of one, because I found one that it's kind of a parody of late night talk that we carry on KGVO, Visits with the Supernatural or whatnot. It's quite funny. But other than that, no. But Glidewell has a podcast, right?
That's right. We just launched a podcast this year. It was one of those pivots we made through COVID. An idea we had in our marketing and our strategy. And so we launched a podcast. It's available wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. But it's called Dream Again. And, Glidewell sponsors it. We back it. But it's the Dream Again podcast. And myself and Stephen Ressett are the host of that. And we often have guests here in the community and talk. We have an upcoming episode with Jacob Elder who's running for mayor here in Missoula.
Oh,
just,
right, yeah.
Just getting to know Jacob. But the purpose of our podcast is to provide common sense education and empowerment that gives hope to everyone. It's tailored for the financially distressed to the financially secure. And more information on that, you can go to glidewell.pro, our website. But again, look us up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Dream Again with Brandon Smith.
All right.
Be honored
All right.
to have you listen to that.
You are also an accomplished motivational speaker. COVID-19 curtailed that somewhat. Are you getting back out there more now?
I am. 2020, it was unfortunate, had 15 conferences, speaking engagements cancel on me. And so that's really kind of what birthed part of the idea of this podcast was the urge to get out and speak, to help people, to encourage them, to motivate them, to challenge them to be the best version of themselves and ultimately help them dream again. And so, we had a couple engagements earlier this year in 2021, but about to hit the ground running here in July. And I'm going to be coast to coast and some family vacations tied in and hitting Disney World.
Nice.
And, I just love getting out there and just looking people in the eye, shaking their hands, and really just helping them achieve their goals.
Will you be revisiting venues, or are these some new places, or both, or what?
Got some new ones. Have some that were canceled, that were rescheduled. That were supposed to happen in 2020. But really excited. I get to hit Myrtle Beach in South Carolina in August. I've never been there, so looking forward to that. So we'll do that conference and then extend for a couple days with my wife. But it's crazy. Myrtle Beach, in Florida, but then there's places like Casper, Wyoming that I get to go to in conferences. And so some are, the scenery is much better than others, but it's the people that make the job so great, and just love looking people in the eye and just really just encouraging them and letting them know they have somebody cheering them on.
Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate on News Talk KGVO. Our guest, Brandon Smith with Glidewell. Excuse me. Try to get in a couple more questions here before we wrap it up. Brandon, I always like to ask you what it means to be a claims assistant and advocate with Glidewell.
When you have a claim, you're having a bad day.
Fair enough.
Nobody likes that. And so our goal, our heart really is to help people make a bad day easy, simple as possible. And so we got a team, a group on our team that they are claims advisors, that their number one goal is to just serve you with compassion, empathy, get your questions answered, follow up. There's nothing more frustrating than when you're waiting on an insurance company or a restoration company to fix your home and there's poor communication. And that's really the bottom line, is people just want to know the process, the timeline, what's going on, the expectations, and then that being delivered. And if there's, if you have to pivot along the way or something comes up, just communicating it, but doing it through empathy and compassion.
Yeah.
And so that's our claims team. That's really our goal, is to just a white glove service, serve people so well that we are not the reason their bad day is worse.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I would define.
Oh, I do know, and visiting with you in past shows, how rewarding that is for you, the whole customer service element of it. Brandon Smith with Glidewell on Missoula Real Estate Today on News Talk KGVO. Before we wrap it up, contact information. Brandon, if folks want to know more about Glidewell and you, what's the avenues we take to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple here. My email, brandon@glidewell.pro, and then our website, glidewell.pro. Can find us there. But I am all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Brandon Smith. Just track me down, find me, and would love to answer any questions or connect you with somebody who may help you in your current financial situation.
Nice. Great seeing you again. Safe travels on the motivational speaker tour this summer.
Thank you, Denny. Always an honor. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for listening to Missoula Real Estate Today, presented by Diane Beck of Windermere Real Estate. Email dianebeck@windermere.com, or for a complete directory of Diane's listings, visit move2missoula.com. That's move2missoula.com. We'll see you next time on Missoula Real Estate Today.